Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Tower of God New World. In today's video, we are going to organize the updated tier list, and this tier list is a lot different from the previous updated tier list video. So there are a couple characters that I rearranged in this tier list, and of course I'm going to explain why. So let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead and hop right into the video. So the first unit I want to talk about is Rachel. So Rachel, I'm pretty sure Rachel was in A tier and I moved her down to C tier. Now the reason why I moved Rachel down to C tier is because number one, there is absolutely no reason for you to even use Rachel when we have pretty much multiple purple element characters that are absolutely meta. We have Vivi, we have Kaseya, Joaquin. There are so many purple element units that just outperform Rachel, so there's really no need for us to even use her. So Rachel definitely got lowered down to C tier because she is completely irrelevant in the meta, and characters like Vivi and Kaseya just completely took her out of the meta, especially Joaquin. So Rachel, she got taken out the meta. Now when we look at another unit, which is Vicente, so Vicente got lowered down to B tier. Now I did put him in A tier in a previous updated tier list video, but the reason why he got lowered down to B tier is because number one, Jinsung, like I said, Jinsung is just way better. Jinsung, he just performs way better than Vicente. And of course, if you put Jinsung and Vicente together, Vicente can do some pretty good damage. But if you really want to focus on your Jinsung doing more damage, I feel like putting units like Gia Gia alongside with Awaken Rack, Red Mask Hua, and Support Hua, putting them in like one team together, it's just going to boost Jinsung's damage by a lot. So I just feel like Vicente, he is still a pretty decent unit, but when you compare him to Jinsung, he's just not that great. So Vicente did get lowered down to B tier, and I know you guys would say, well, if Vicente got lowered down to B tier, would Michael be in B tier as well? Actually, I would say yes. Michael can also be in B tier as well, alongside with Vicente, because they're both kind of the same thing, except Vicente, he's going to target the unit with the highest attack, and Michael's basically going to target the enemy who's just directly in front of him. So I am going to put both of them in the same exact tier because they're both one-shot units. I do think that Vicente is a lot better than Michael, but at the end of the day, they both do the same exact thing. And I do feel like in the future, the more red element units we have, the more these two characters, they're just not going to be as great. Now another unit I want to talk about is Shibisu. Now Shibisu, a lot of people were saying on my previous updated tier list video that Shibisu is actually pretty good in the end game. So I moved him up to A tier. He was in C tier. Now the reason why I put him in C tier is because me personally, I don't even use him. As long as I have Bomb, there's really no need for me to even use Shibisu, because I feel like Bomb, he is a good support unit to use alone in yellow team comp, and you pretty much have Yiwa and Compressed Rack as your two DPS units, and you have Evan as like your main healing unit, and then you have tank hats. So I feel like Shibisu, I mean, he doesn't really have a specific slot you can replace other characters with. So if you are trying to use Shibisu, you can replace him with Compressed Rack, and you can use Yiwa as your main DPS unit. But I highly recommend you guys to use Yiwa and Compressed Rack together, because Compressed Rack is good at one tapping enemies. He does like bursty damage, and Yiwa is just really good with AoE damage. So Shibisu is pretty much for players who already built him, and you want to build a lot of physical and magic resistance on him so that he can actually stay alive. So he's a pretty decent unit. Plus we are going to have the Revolution phase 2 for anniversary, so he definitely does have potential. But I highly believe that later on in the future we are going to have a better yellow element unit, support unit. So I'm just not going to invest in him, even though he is going to be pretty decent. I just don't really have all the resources to focus on old units. So those are pretty much all the characters I wanted to talk about. There are some other characters that did get rearranged, but I don't feel like that's really important. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to our new SSR character, Mad Dog Varagarv. So this is basically his picture right here. I couldn't find the right PNG for him because when they didn't update their tier list, so I had to literally go to the forum, the Netmarble forum, so that I can get this picture. So it's really scuffy. I apologize for that. But Mad Dog Varagarv, so he is a purple element tank unit, and if you guys haven't watched my Varagarv guide video, I do feel like this unit is actually pretty good. He's a pretty good tank unit. He has really good survivability, and the good thing about this unit is the fact that he can literally shred physical resistance. I feel like that is really nice if you're going up against a team that pretty much does. If you're going up against a team that is extremely tanky, I do feel like Varagarv is going to help with that 30% physical resistance shred. So he is an awesome tank unit, and I am going to put him in S tier. I don't feel like he is broken because, you know, he's not on the same level as Karaka. If you have your Karaka build, and if you have a lot of copies on Karaka, like if you at least have 3 blue stars or 3 purple stars on Karaka, then there's really no need for you to build Varagarv. But I do feel like Varagarv, if you don't have your Karaka built, Varagarv is an amazing purple tank unit to use. So the difference between Karaka and Varagarv is Karaka is a universal tank unit. He can pretty much work in multiple team comps, but for Varagarv, he only works in purple team because of his passive. Based off of how many purple allies you have on your team, his defense will build up. So if you put him in a yellow element team comp or green element team comp or whatever, he's not going to get that additional defense, so he is going to suffer based off of like his survivability is going to suffer. But if you put him in purple team comp, he's going to have like 90% defense, which is crazy. So he only works in purple team comp, and I feel like that's the main reason why Karaka is still a better unit than Varagarv because of his passive. And you guys already know, I say this all the time, if we have a tank unit in this game, as long as they're able to stay alive, that's all that matters. Like if they're able to stay alive, they're S tier or S plus tier because they're a tank unit. You know what I'm saying? They're a tank unit, so their job is to pretty much stay alive and make sure that the enemy focuses on them. They don't, like, the tank unit doesn't want the enemy to focus on, you know, our DPS characters, range units. No, we only want the enemy to focus on the tank unit, and we want the tank unit to take a lot of damage. And I will say that Varagarv does take a lot more damage than Karaka because of his shield. His shield is absolutely crazy. Like, he has an insane shield, and that shield takes so much damage. So I will say, when it comes to which unit takes more damage, I will say that Varagarv definitely takes more damage because of that shield. Now, when we take a look at the purple element tier list, as you guys can see, we have every character in their own respective tier. Now, Verdi, like I said, this is not a boss tier list. This is a tier list mostly focused on adventure mode and trial areas. So Verdi is definitely in that C tier because she is a boss unit. Now, when we take a look at Varagarv in this tier list, it's pretty obvious that Varagarv is going to be in that S tier. I say this multiple times. He is not on the same level as Karaka because Karaka is like the #1 unit that can pretty much activate provocation the most in this game. So Karaka, he is way better as a tank unit, but I do feel like Varagarv as an SSR tank unit, he's definitely a good option if you don't have your Karaka build. So Varagarv, amazing unit. Highly recommend you guys to invest in him. At least, you know, reach him, like at least take him to 4 orange stars. If you reach 400 stars, he's going to be very good. So that's pretty much the updated tier list, and anniversary is getting close, so I highly recommend you guys to DM me on Discord if you want to get your account reviewed. I am going to do account reviews on anniversary, so message me on Discord and I'm going to get you right in and I'm going to review your account. So that's pretty much all I have for you guys in today's video. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't. I really appreciate it. And the account review videos, not account review videos, but the account review application will end on July 12th. So you guys have like 1 week left before the account review application ends. So make sure you message me on Discord if you want your account to be reviewed. But that'll be it, you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.